So what I've done, I've done a quick recap video, which you'll be able to obviously pass on to others or download as when you wish. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll just go on to the basics of the package, and I'll show some of the functionality. Hopefully I'll try and cover some of the questions that you all asked in there, so you've got some sort of reference points as well. So there's only one slide of PowerPoint, you may be pleased to know. So if I just escape from there, and what I'll do is I'll just close that. So we're back on to the package itself. So this is a Windows Surface Pro PC. It's a fairly fast PC, I have to say. It's nice and lightweight. It sits on the stand here. There's a nice rubberized base across the bottom. The stand will actually fold away if you wish, and there's a view element here which lines up nicely with the camera. So in actual fact, I've got the laptop upside down, but that's fine because it works either way. It comes with the USB extension, because there's only one USB, and I've got two USB things connected, and that's the USB, the RF mouse, which is available, and I also have the keyboard, and they all both come with the kit themselves. So the keyboard is really sturdy. I had a report that there was a couple of keys come off some of them, but if they're not easy to reset, then please tell us and we'll replace the keyboard, obviously in the warranty period. They've both got batteries. This has got two AAAs, and the mouse has got a AA in there. So this seems to last quite a long time. This one has got a switch on the back of it, and the mouse turns off, and you can turn it back on by doing a left click on there. We also send it with the keyboard which Microsoft make available, which is popped on via a magnet. Because it's an upside down, I'll do that. So it'll clear out, and then it will close up. And it covers the screen, protects the screen, and one of the questions was, can I use it with the keyboard here and the stand which comes on the Surface Pro? Yes, absolutely, you can. You could have that on the table. You could still be using the mouse if you wished, and the resupply and the keyboard, or you can use it just as the keyboard from Microsoft sat on the desk. There's no problem with that at all. So they're clearly lightweight. The battery on them is excellent. This one will last for 5 hours. There's actually much higher rating by Microsoft, but we quote 5 ourselves. To charge it, you connect the little magnetic connector here. The little light comes on to say it's connected. Yes, you can turn it the other way up if it comes on. It's nice and popped in. There's no fiddling around there at all. And you can see that the screen slightly changed color because I've got a different setting on brightness where the power's on and off, but you can change that. So can I connect this to my school Wi-Fi network? Yeah, absolutely. It's a PC. I can't emphasize that enough. It's a PC that you can put your office on. You can put any other applications that you want, all Windows based. You can connect it to your antivirus. Are my IT people going to be happy? I think so, because most of you will be working with Windows based devices. It's really easy to connect any antivirus stuff up there, or connect the internet via a proxy server. People will understand it. It's not an Android or a device or from another platform. It's just a PC. Can I put other software on there? Yeah, whatever you want to come on, you can put that on. Okay, so yeah. And as I said to some people not long ago, is the worst case scenario is you end up with a PC. If the student doesn't like it, a PC on a stand with a keyboard and a mouse, and they can be used in other places if it doesn't actually find satisfaction for the student themselves. So let's have a look at the software. So it's got a touch screen, obviously, because it's a Surface Pro. So if I tap my fingers twice on the screen, then oops, missed it at that time, then I'll find that it will turn the magnification on. And we can see the control panel from SuperNova here. So what I might do is just actually switch to Word so we can see some text. There we go. So this is just a Word document. And what I'm going to do now is I'll move my fingers together, okay, or I'll move them apart. And you can see it centers on where my fingers are located. I can take them up as high as I wish and then bring them down. Having done that, if I want to move, I can move with the one finger and I can move around. Don't have to do it that way. If you take the mouse, then you can move the mouse, and of course it will move with you. Up here, wherever I want to go. And if I was typing, okay, then I'll touch the keyboard and then I'll find it will locate back to there. So if I was typing, which I'll simulate by pressing the right arrow key, then we'll see that it stays in the focus as I'm actually typing. I'll do that, go back to the left, okay, I'll go up and down, back to the right, down, down. There we go. Now, I actually found the mouse there, but that's perhaps not what I wanted to do, because what I wanted to show is if I touch the mouse now, the mouse will appear in the center of the screen. So I haven't just magnified text, I've magnified everything to the same size. So if I take my mouse to the top of the screen, I'll find that the toolbar is nice and clear, beautiful clear text, because SuperNova has a great magnification engine in it. It's all nice and clear up here, right? Now, where was I typing? Rather than trying to swirl around, if I touch the right arrow key, it takes me back to that location. If I touch the mouse, then that will appear in the center of the screen again. There we go, it's popped back. Moved it slightly, so it's jumped a little bit. Same thing for if I wanted to know the time. You know, it's the 3:46, go back to touching the keyboard, okay, and then it will actually jump back again, touch the mouse. So, does it just do that in Word? No. Wherever you've got an edit, then it will do that. So you'll have that performance. So whether it was the web or whatever you're editing, it will do exactly the same. Will it just magnify Office? No, it will magnify absolutely everything you have on the computer. A lot of it will speak as well, and I'll show some of that a little bit later in the demonstration. But yes, it will magnify everything. So if I quickly switch to the desktop, and then move to the right-hand side, we can see that's all really clear. Back to my Word document, and then we'll be back to where I was typing. It's remembered that position. Black text in a white background. It's not always ideal for many of the students we work with. So if I click on the color changer, one of the many options in SuperNova, I'll find that now I'm looking at white marks in a dark background, much easier on the eyes. And one of the things I like about the stand and this PC is that I can make the size of the text really easy to suit my site, so I don't have to lean over the desk. But if I do want to pick it up, it's really easy. Up it comes. All right, so I'll just disconnect the battery. So let's take that off. And now I can bring it up to my face. And of course, I can move it around with my finger. Maybe because it's closer, I can take the magnification down a little bit. And I finish with it. I'll put it back on the stand, and then of course I can take it up as well. So can I use the camera that's on the back? Yes, you can, and I'll show you how you do that in a second. So, but I really like the Surface Pro for that because it's solid, but it's not overly heavy, and it's sturdy. So as is the stand. So there's a little bit of wobble on the stand, but generally it's quite secure. But if I bang on the side quite hard or the left, you'll find it's not going to come off. Of course, banging that way towards me might just topple it over a little bit, but it's quite good because it's got this rubberized base where the laptop actually sits as well. Okay, so I'll just turn off that color changer. All right, so there we go. There we go. Turn that off there. So we go back to the original color, and I'll bring the magnification down a little bit so that we can see the control panel. All right, and what I'll do is I'll go along to the connect and view option. So there's a ruck of things in there, and we've got some videos on it, but I think everybody's here because they wanted to learn a little bit about how Connect and Learn works. So what I'm going to do now is I've set it to come on when the camera on the back is connected. So in Connect and View and in Settings, I've set the rear camera, and it will list any other camera. So can I connect another USB camera to this? Yes, absolutely. Anything that works in Skype, like a webcam, will work in here, and then you can put that on. So I particularly like, there's a camera on Amazon called the IPEVO, I think it's V4K. If you put Ziggy in, it also comes up. I believe it's about £99, and it's great. It's got an 8 megapixel camera on it. It's really useful for documents, and you can tilt it up and look a little bit around the classroom as well. So we will look at the whiteboard, which is also an option in here, and I've got it connected to a demonstration version so you get some ideas how that works. If I have a different camera, I set it here, all right, and I just click on OK. Don't have to do that again, because when I click this, what will happen is the camera will turn on, which I'll just move my hand so you can see it's there. So for the demonstration purposes, I have the camera view at the top and I have the Windows application I'm using here. So what I decided to do is maybe the student wants to read a piece of paper and they want to be able to type the salient points into a document they've got, then so they can use it this way, or perhaps they've got the web on the bottom and then they want to read the piece of paper. So I'm going to bring the camera bracket up to the horizontal position, and when I've done that, I'm going to click on this icon here, which is the lock icon, all right, and when I've got it to the vertical, and then it's going to take a picture of this piece of paper, which is on the stand underneath it here. So let me just bring that up, and then I'll click on the lock, and then I'll bring it down. So now I've got the lock screen there. So if I wish, I can see the whole of a piece of paper, which is A4, and then I can scroll around it. Actually, I want to do this. Okay, actually, I want to type here, which I can do now. I'll simulate it by moving the cursor key. Okay, I want to read a little bit further over here. I can bounce the mouse into the top, and I can use the mouse to go around with it if I don't want to use it, or haven't got a touch screen device if I wish. I can change the magnification size there as well. So what I might do is you've got the idea that you can actually have I'll come back to that in a second. You can have the computer at the bottom and you can be reading a piece of paper. So for the purposes, I might make it full screen. So if I go back to my modes and go to connecting view, I'm going to make it full screen. Why I like this feature particularly is I can look at a piece of paper and to look at different aspects of the piece of paper, read different parts of it, I don't have to move the camera or the piece of paper. I can read it across like this. I can go there. I can go to, I'm just stuck at the bottom. Now I can go there. I can change the size and I can change the color if in the highly likely event that I find the white background and black text isn't suiting me. And I can change to different colors that may suit my site better. I'll bring it back round. And if I want a copy of that in the clipboard, then I would click on the camera, which is here. So I'll do that. Now it's taken a picture and it's in the clipboard. Did it take a picture of what I have on the screen at the moment? No, it didn't. It took a picture of that, which is the whole of the piece of paper. Okay, if I have the color settings on, then it wouldn't have applied those as well, because you paste it into maybe Paint or Word or whatever you want to use to save it to. Having done that, you then apply the color settings that you wish. If the orientation was wrong and then I had the piece of paper on at 180 degrees, then I can quickly change that round as well. And what I've seen used a few times is an assistant or a colleague or a student, another student will pick this up, they'll go off somewhere and then they'll take a picture and then they'll bring it back. And often the picture is upside down, in which case then you can quickly change that right to the right size, and then you can view, you can zone out the bits you don't want to see, perhaps of some part of the classroom or maybe the blackboard, whatever it is in a particular case. So I want to read this piece of paper, so I can either do that visually, or if you've got magnifier and speech or magnifier and screen reader, you'll find that this icon is also available here, which is the OCR. So I'm going to select that. I could have touched it with my finger, does exactly the same. And what I find now is I've got a little highlight at the top, okay, where the first part is, and I'll just click on there.
Device, a world of learning.
Just stop my phone, my apologies for that. Okay, so now if I wish, I can click on the play icon.
Device, a world of learning 1, the classroom ready study package for students with low vision. Magnify class handouts in real time.
I'll stop it because that's not the bit that I wanted. So what I'll do is I'll just move it to, yep, I think it's there.
Connect at Learn has been specifically designed for students. Specifically designed for students with sight loss. 6 color schemes to choose from: crystal clear, magnification up to.
So just bring that down so we can see that it's read that column, and then I hopefully it will read that column there. Let's try that.
64 times a choice of human sounding voices. 1. Scan and read OCR.
Yep, that worked nicely. So what we've actually done is we've got like an overlay on the top of the document, and it's highlighting the word as it actually speaks it out at the same time. I can still apply my color setting if I wish. And if I'm looking for the original text because maybe the OCR didn't make a perfect job of it, in which case then I can click on the landscape button, and then I'll have the right hand side
Learn has been.
Is the text, and the left hand side is the picture. If I click on here now, got the vertical
students.
Again, sorry, horizontal. Now I've got just the OCR image. If I click on that again, now I'm back to the original document with the overlay on the top of it as well. Now we have saved that text. All right, so you can go back in and paste it into Word, and I'll explain a little bit more about that later. So if I now click on the X or touch the X, then it'll go back to the camera option, because we thought you might want to take another camera view. In this particular case, I'll click off.
Down button.
Okay, and then I've gone back to Windows in this particular case. So just pop that on again. There is a hotkey to do this, so you don't have to touch the screen. And part of the pack in the rucksack that also comes with the package, you'll find there's the hotkey guide, which is available, okay, which gives you all these hotkeys. All right, so again, I'll just click on the camera.
Moves group, connect and view, check
that up. Bring that down. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the whiteboard. Okay, so you can have the whiteboard and the camera on at the same time, or you can just have the whiteboard, or you can just have the camera. So if I press the button, caps lock and middle mouse button, what I've actually done now is I'm looking at the whiteboard view. Okay, so which we've represented by connecting it to another PC, not actually in Dolphin, somewhere away, and we're using the image of that. So the way it works in schools is that you'll have a PC connected to the whiteboard, and on there you insert the Dolphin Whiteboard Wizard software. You don't have to use that because it's a nicer option. It uses a technology called VNC, which is fairly standard. It's the same format that if you're watching something on perhaps your tablet or your phone and you cast it to the TV so you can watch it on there, like a YouTube video or something, it uses the Wi-Fi network of your home to actually put it onto the TV. It's exactly the same as that. So there is a slight downside to it, as some IT people feel that it's not secure. We don't think that is the case, and because of that, we made our own whiteboard wizard that the teacher can turn on and off the PC. So what it does, it puts a red and a green icon on there. So when the student says, "Sir, can you turn it on?" or "Madam," what happens is they'll click the green icon. Then it will be available for them in here. When they want to turn it off because there's something they may not want the student to see, or they've left the classroom, they click the red icon and it turns it off, and it will stop this connection here. So the PowerPoint's actually going over, so you can it's changing. You might have noticed it did that earlier. I can change the color of the whiteboard.
Left mouse.
Okay, I'll just turn the speech on because it's repeating some elements. What I can also do is I can click on the lock. So if the PowerPoint or if the presentation on the whiteboard is about to change, having done that, you've locked it to that picture. So if there's something that you still want to be able to look at, then you can pick it up. You can do that. Can I take a picture of it? Yes, you can. So now it's in the clipboard and you can paste it somewhere. If I was to unclick this, I should imagine the presentation, yeah, the slide has changed. So it's gone to the present slide that's on the board. Why is this green target thing here? That's there because if the lecturer or the teacher touches the board, they're writing something on there. When that's green, it will move to that location. And when it's red, it won't. So it can be distracting, we notice, for a couple of students if there's a lot of scribbling going on when they wanted to look at something else on there. So now I've got the whole of the whiteboard. So can I sit anywhere in the classroom? Yes, absolutely anywhere. And that's one of the joys of the package, is seeing students sitting wherever they want rather than within line of sight of the whiteboard themselves. Can I OCR it? You can. So if I was to click on the OCR, it will do it now. If somebody has done some handwriting on the whiteboard, then it's not going to pick it up. All right, so you need to be aware that it's a text-based optical character recognition. It's not a handwriting one, so it won't make the best of that, I'm afraid. So to come out of there, okay, I can click on the X, all right, and it's come back out. If I turn it back on, okay, then I can bounce between the camera, the PC, and the whiteboard by pressing the caps lock and the middle mouse button, and it jumps me between the three. Can I have the whiteboard on the top, the side, the bottom, and my PC running in the other section of the screen? Yeah, yes, you can. All right, working at its best, looking at the whiteboard, making notes, and then you can use it that way. So I'll just click on there, and then we'll come back out. All right. So there are, as I mentioned, another 100 features in SuperNova, which I won't bore you with. There's a couple I wanted to pick up. If you've got magnifier and speech or magnifier and screen reader, you'll have this media tab. So the OCR is one called OmniPage 20.2. It's the latest version. So if I wish, I can also use it to OCR image-based documents or stuff that's gone on a scanner. So you can use it for that as well if you wish. So you can do it from the file, you can do it from the scanner, or you can do it from the clipboard, so you can OCR those in. If you wish, you can also use the bookshelf, which is your way of being able to get to RNIB Bookshare. So just like you can use in the Easy Reader apps for Android and for Apple, then you can connect directly in, download books, have them in the player, read them using your magnification, your color settings, read them visually or read them with your with the screen reader that's available in this as well. So speaking of which, I'll just quickly turn the voice on again.
Speech on.
Okay, so the voice is in magnifier and speech, magnifier and screen reader. Comes with
Microsoft
two
Word
female voices and a male voice. It's a nice, pleasant voice.
Worcestershire sauce, one word. Though the original Lee and Perrins Worcestershire sauce came into being hot.
It's fairly responsive.
However, comma, much to their
I'll just stop it. So if I go over by word.
A bit like what or vinegar dot.
Okay.
A blank line.
You can, if you wish, read different words. So if I do.
Good was the original that there are now over 100 different brands available. Production and ingredients of F. Oscar Foxtrot. O. Oscar Font Arial.
High levels of speech feedback is available in there as well.
SuperNova control panel.
All right, so do I need the stand to take a picture? No, you don't. But what the stand does, it gives you the perfect level to take a picture of a piece of A4 paper, all right, and get the whole of that piece of paper in. Could I take a picture of a book? Yeah, it doesn't have to be a piece of paper. Book, magazine, newspaper, whatever you wish. If you can't get the whole of it in, then the student may need a little bit of assistance to hold the laptop up to get everything in focus. Okay, and you can do that. Having got that sorry, not in focus, in the screen view. Having done that, you press the lock and then you pop it back on the stand or on top of the desk, and then you can view it from there as well. Okay, I think I've covered just about everything there. So the software is available without the package. So all the functionality you've got is available without that, or it comes in the kit here. I believe it's 1,754 magnifier and speech. For, I'll just repeat again, the mouse, the keyboard, the second keyboard that protects it, the USB, the stand, and the full PC. We haven't put Microsoft Office on there because we figured that most schools and colleges, universities would have a facility available for that already. So they'd be paying for it twice, which they wouldn't appreciate. So I think that's just about it. If you have any questions, I'd see if I'm steve.bennett@yourdolphin.com. Bennett comes with double N, double T, so steve.bennett@yourdolphin, YOUR dolphin.com. Okay, appreciate you listening and viewing, and again, look forward to speaking to everybody when I meet them outside. Okay, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.